move along a little more. And one of the examples that's kind of neat is if you have somebody like let's say you go to an accountant to get your taxes done or something like that, and they say, oh, how are you? What have you been working on lately? Oh, I've been working on this marriage equality thing. There's a new coalition on the peninsula now, and we're really working because, we were so upset by the passage of Prop 8, and so we're really out there and being very active about working and talking with people. And the person may be being polite, may not care about the issue at all, but is sort of nodding their head. And they say, well, would you consider making a little donation? To, because they're kind of being polite and saying, oh, that's interesting. And they say, would you consider making a little donation to the coalition? Say, $10, $20, something like that. And they may say, well, all right. And what they're thinking in their mind may be, this is my longtime client. I mean, I've been seeing this guy for the past 5 years. I don't want to lose his business. I can't afford it. And so they write the check. But doesn't matter. Hypocrisy may be the first step toward real change. and to reduce, they took an action. They took an action, they wrote the check, and in their mind, to reduce their cognitive dissonance, they're going to say, well, maybe that was an okay thing to have written that check for. Maybe it's not so bad. Yeah, I mean, I'm not totally opposed to those those no on 8 people. I mean, yeah, I wrote them a check. I mean, I've done this with a guy I deal with in the bank all the time, and who was far away from me politically. I started inviting him to things, and then he'd show up. Well, what the heck? I mean, now he's giving $100 at a pop to my candidates, and he's always asking me about what I think about what's going on with the economy. Fine, whatever it takes. Yeah.
I have a two-pronged question. The first one is, you're back in line there, and you're making a statement, and you're going to pull around what people. So, if you see a couple of people going, and nobody's saying there's no, then you're just stuck up.
I don't have to do anything more. I'm not going to be converting somebody immediately in the checkout line. If I see somebody who's kind of neutral, or let's say there's somebody who's, some are going to scowl, and then one is looking kind of like neutral, not saying anything, then maybe when we both have our bags and we're loading them in the car, I might say something, yeah, what, did you agree with those women in there who are sort of growling and frowning? And she may end up saying, well, no, I didn't, but I wasn't going to make a deal out of it. And say, yeah, I know, it's so hard when there's some people who seem so biased, it's really hard to feel like you can be yourself. You don't have to convert her right then, but then the fact that you use the word some people are biased by including her in that, you are not, you that I'm talking to, are not one of the biased ones. So, it's just the little kind of thing. You may not be able to make everything happen as fast as you have in your mind, but in the long run, you're more likely to be successful. Yeah?
The other part of my question is, suppose you look for the shoe on the other foot, and somebody maybe has heard some of these things, who's on the other side of this, and they make some statement which has this really weird. And what then might we respond with? Does it, can you believe they really want marriage equality? What is this? And then we say,
sure. Well, yeah, I can. Because, there's so many, I'm not married now. I have been married. There's so many, if nothing else, there's so many financial advantages and privileges that you get in this society for being married. Sure, you may figure, oh, this person is no way near dealing with the emotional advantages. But even just to say, yeah, there's all kinds of reasons to be married. And this is not about an equity issue, anything like this. They just you gave them a reason to say, well, yeah, there's reasons to be married. If you have a personal example, it's really great to have your own stories. Look at everything that's happened to you in your life and turn it into little mental stories that you can pull out, work out how you're going to say them in short, compact kind of ways. And it might be Well, yeah, I used to think that way too. And then my best friend's son got married. And everybody was so happy. It was like a great big party, and they were so much in love. And I could really see, gee, this is so sweet that they could get married. So yeah, I mean, I used to kind of think like you, but I don't anymore. And you don't have to push it down their throat. You just say enough. And when you're encountering somebody who's really oppositional and there are other people around, remember, you're not likely to win with them, arguing with them head to head, but the people you're working on influencing then are the listeners. And so how you handle it, to bring up the topics, the little arguments, the counter ways of thinking, any one of those people out there may be ready to move into contemplation, maybe in contemplation and begin to think, gee, I'm ready to do something about this. And hearing you say that could be the thing that pushes them over, even though you didn't talk directly to them. And that's one of the nice things about this recognition, that it's lots of little interactions pile up the momentum for change for people. Yeah.
I'm hearing you say something that seems like a really tough thing for a lot of people to do. You have to have this sort of like hypersensitivity to other people and where they are in that chain. And so you have to have this hypersensitivity to other people and where they are, but you also have to have like this self-knowledge of what you know and how you are presenting it, and a really thick skin in case things don't work out. And you have to be maintaining all three of these sort of things at once in order to, well, not go crazy and get defensive and put people off, but also be aware of where they are and be aware of your own story and how that's coming across. It seems really hard.
It sounds like an overwhelming challenge, right? Hey.